Criticism is inevitable. No matter what you do, there will always be someone ready to point out flaws, question your choices, or minimize your achievements. For many, receiving criticism is painful because it triggers insecurities and the fear of not being good enough. But understanding the nature of criticism is the first step to turning it into fuel. Not all criticism carries the same weight. Some come from people who want you to grow and improve, while others come from frustrated individuals projecting their own limitations onto you. Distinguishing constructive criticism from destructive criticism is essential. Constructive criticism may sting, but it highlights areas for reflection and improvement. Destructive criticism, however, is baseless, driven by envy, resentment, or the desire to bring others down. When you learn this distinction, you realize it's unwise to reject all criticism, but equally unwise to internalize every negative comment. Another key point is that criticism often reveals more about the speaker than the receiver. Criticism exposes values, perspectives, and sometimes insecurities of the critic. This perspective helps you depersonalize the message. Instead of feeling attacked, you can ask, what part of this feedback is useful for my growth? What belongs solely to the one delivering it? This mindset allows you to use criticism intelligently, rather than letting it wound you. The first natural reaction to criticism is defense, justifying, arguing, or even attacking back. But that reaction only feeds resistance without learning. The key is to turn that initial pain into direction. Criticism highlights blind spots, areas you may not see on your own. It serves as a mirror, sometimes distorted, sometimes accurate, reflecting aspects of your behavior and decisions. To use this as fuel, humility is required. Ask yourself, is there a grain of truth in this criticism I can use? Even when the message is delivered harshly, it may touch on something that deserves attention. Maturity lies in separating the harsh delivery from the useful content. This ability lets you grow without being emotionally consumed by negativity. Turning criticism into fuel requires emotional discipline. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause, breathe, reflect, and decide your response. Sometimes the best response is silence. Other times it's adjusting your plan. Sometimes it's simply moving forward with even more determination. What matters is transforming each critique into a chance to strengthen yourself. Criticism, when used as direction, stops being a stumbling block and becomes a stepping stone. The final stage is learning to grow not only despite criticism, but also because of it. Criticism, when filtered and reframed, can become a powerful source of energy. Many great leaders, artists, and entrepreneurs were driven by the desire to prove themselves precisely because they were told countless times they couldn't. Criticism, in this sense, becomes fuel for persistence. This doesn't mean living to prove others wrong, but using the challenge as an extra push. When someone says you can't, you have the chance to prove to yourself that you can. This shift in perspective turns criticism from emotional weight into strategic motivation. Dealing well with criticism also develops resilience. You realize you don't need universal approval to move forward. You learn to trust your process and treat each comment as data to be analyzed, not as a final verdict. Growing because of criticism means transforming negative words into positive action. In the end, criticism doesn't define you. What defines you is your reaction to it. Those who learn to use criticism as fuel discover that even opposing voices can become allies on the path to growth. At that point, No negative comment outweighs your determination to keep moving forward.